Centermen have such a crucial position in the game of hockey, between face-offs, controlling breakouts into the offensive zone, and usually having a strong 200-foot game. It's impressive to say the least. The 2019 and 2020 NHL Draft have had a dramatic impact on the league's depth when it comes to their talented centers, with plenty looking to dominate the NHL as soon as next season. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we are breaking down the top 10 center prospects the entire NHL has to offer. So who are they? Make sure you stay until the end of the video, find out all the deets and all my thoughts on these rankings, and also make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you end up enjoying this kind of hockey content. It would really mean a lot, guys. But without further ado, let's get right into this video. Starting off at number 10, we have Gabriel Vilardi, the former first-round pick back in 2017 by the LA Kings. The 6'3", 200-pound centerman has made a great impact in his short stint with the Kings at the end of the 2019-2020 season. The 21-year-old had 7 points in 10 games in his first stint in the NHL last year, including 3 goals and 4 assists. To start off his 2019 season, he was in the AHL, where he had just around 32 games played, racking up 25 points, including 9 goals and 16 assists. In the 18-19 season, Vilardi only had 4 games played in the AHL to start off his pro hockey debut, and had 1 assist, all in part because of the serious injury he sustained that left him out for the majority of the 18-19 season. Since then, Vilardi has overcome all obstacles to become a regular in the NHL and is expected to make quite the impact in the top 9 for the LA Kings coming out of camp into the 2020-2021 season. Between his great size, strong skating and playmaking ability, and a wicked wrister when he can get it off, Vilardi truly has the tools to be that stereotypical centerman that we all know and fell in love with the LA Kings back in the 2012 and 2014 Stanley Cup runs. At number 9, we have Vilardi's teammate and a guy he very well could be competing with for a certain roster spot within that top 9 next season, and that is Alex Turcotte. Turcotte, the 19-year-old, was drafted in the first round just a year ago in 2019 after being passed up by his hometown team in the Chicago Blackhawks, so he ends up landing with their rivals in the LA Kings. The 5'11", 185-pounder had a great debut season in college last year with the University of Wisconsin. In 29 games played, he had 26 points, including 9 goals and 17 assists. What a debut. Going into his draft year, he had a whopping 34 points in 16 games with the U.S. National Development Team, including 12 goals and 22 assists. Turcotte also had 28 points in around 21 games, including 15 goals and 13 assists. Truly great numbers for the young man going into his draft year. After his freshman year with the University of Wisconsin, a team that really did not live up to the hype, with guys like Cole Caulfield, Keandre Miller, and Dylan Holloway, some great up-and-coming talents into the NHL in the coming years, things just did not go as planned, but it did not stop Turcotte and his great talent his freshman year. Turcotte has now signed his entry-level contract with the LA Kings and is fully ready to make that next jump to the NHL level, in which he is going to have a great impact. Besides his size, he's going to overcome it with his great skating and playmaking ability, and has the definite potential to be a top 6 centerman in the NHL sooner rather than later. Next up, at number 8, we have another former first-round pick from 2019, and that is Alex NEWHOOK. The 5'11", 195-pound 19-year-old centerman had a fantastic freshman year as easily one of the best players in college last year, playing with, yes, Boston College. NEWHOOK put up a staggering 42 points in 34 games, including 19 goals and 23 assists. Going into his draft year with his final year in the BCHL, which is the British Columbia Hockey League, he had over 102 points in 53 games, including 38 goals and 64 assists. NEWHOOK has defied the odds throughout his entire career, and don't let his size phase you either, has been truly phenomenal in his freshman year with Boston College between his nimble skating, his great acceleration into the offensive zone, fantastic hockey IQ and vision to cap that off with a wicked shot that is truly ready to transition into the NHL already. The only thing stopping him is the great depth in front of him in the Colorado Avalanche lineup. Next up, at number 7, we have once again another higher draft pick in the first round from 2019, and Dylan Cozens. The 6'3", 185-pound 19-year-old had a phenomenal year in the WHL last year, where he put up career numbers including 85 points in 51 games, with having 38 goals and 47 assists. The year prior, he had 84 points in 68 games, including 34 goals and 50 assists. Cozens, another centerman with jaw-dropping playmaking ability, can really be deceptive going into that offensive zone, can help command things both 5-on-5 and on special teams like the majority of these other centermen that I've discussed with you today, but truly such a balance with a great size that over time is going to come more into his body and really be a force to be reckoned with. Next up, at number 6, we have 2020 first-round draft pick by the Winnipeg Jets, and what a steal it was to land him where they got him, and that is Cole Perfetti. The 5'11", 177-pound 18-year-old had a phenomenal season playing in the OHL and expects to pick that back up next season in his final year in the OHL, even after signing his ELC with the Winnipeg Jets this past offseason. Perfetti had a monstrous OHL season this past year going into his draft with 111 points in just 61 games, including 37 goals and 74 assists. What a monster. And the year prior, he had 74 points in 63 games, including 37 goals and 37 assists. Many expected Cole Perfetti to go all the way in the top 5 of the first round, presumably to the Detroit Red Wings given the numerous encounters they had with him leading up to the draft, but that ended up not being the case as Perfetti fell all the way double that to the Winnipeg Jets, and what a steal he ended up being. Between the playmaking and the overall 200-foot game that is solid, Perfetti has significant hockey IQ into the offensive zone that really leaves the defense worried, and rightfully so. When he goes in that offensive zone, he really commands the play, both 5-on-5 and special teams. Again, has great hockey IQ and vision overall. His passing is some of the best out of the entire OHL this past year, and he fully expects to make it up again in his final year in juniors next year, presumably. And then he should hit the NHL right away and be dominant as a top 6 centerman and maybe eventually a number 1 line center for the Winnipeg Jets. And who knows, this very well could be the X factor to keeping Patrick Laine long term, should he feel comfortable with, say, Perfetti as that next 2C after this next year. At number 5, we have one of my favorite prospects out of this entire list by far, and if you guys have been following the channel, then you know that, and that is first round pick in 2020 by the Florida Panthers and Antoine Lundell. The 6'1", 185-pound 19-year-old, one of the older players on this list given his class. No less, he had a phenomenal year as a teenager playing against men in Liga, the Finnish Elite League, going into his draft. Lundell racked up right around 28 points in 44 games, including 10 goals and 18 assists. The year prior, he had 19 points in 38 games, including 9 goals and 10 assists. And thus far, to start off the 2020-2021 season, in 17 games played, he has 20 points, including 12 goals and 8 assists, including at least a 4-goal game not too long ago, and has already been established as the captain for his team as a teenager playing in Liga, this amazing men's league that is easily one of the best men's leagues out of all of hockey outside of North America. Lundell's 200-foot game is truly on another level, and my belief in this belief of many scouts is that he was the best overall two-way forward in the entire 2020 NHL draft class, and for good reason. Between his forechecking and back-checking, there's nothing stopping Lundell, and there's nothing from getting in his way. He's so reminiscent of his future teammate now, the captain of the Florida Panthers, and Sasha Barkov, a fellow centerman from the country of Finland. They're going to do great together. Take him under his wing and Lundell, and I can only expect great things to happen for Lundell, who should hit the NHL as soon as next season. Time will tell, but he is definitely NHL ready. He is definitely capable of being a top 9 and then sooner than later a top 6 forward, if not right away. With fantastic two-way ability, you can expect him to be in Selke conversations for years and years on end. That is how good Antoine Lundell is between his overall balance in the offensive and defensive zone. When it comes to PK and power play time, he really does it all, and he uses his size to his advantage, and I don't expect him to skip a beat whatsoever once he hits North American ice playing in Sunrise. Speaking of two-way centerman, we have another fantastic one, and that is TREVOR ZEGRAS. The 19-year-old was drafted in the 2019 draft by, yes, the Anaheim Ducks. ZEGRAS had a whopping 36 points in 33 games, including 11 goals and 25 assists in his freshman year with Boston University, and really stood out every single night every single time he stepped on the ice. Going into his draft year, ZEGRAS also had 40 points in 27 games playing for the USHL, including 14 goals and 26 assists, and also in exhibition had 47 points in 33 games, including 12 goals and 35 assists. He has been remarkable every which way these past couple years and has a phenomenal two-way game that really stood out in his time with BU and is going to stand out in his rookie season in the 2020-2021 season in the NHL. Between his hockey IQ, his vision, his passing, his playmaking, his decision-making overall is truly superb, and that is what separates him from a lot of the other players on this list. He is so defensively sound, he's so reliable in his own end on every end of the ice, and he's going to bring a huge dynamic to the Anaheim Ducks that desperately need some help, as they're really in this retool now, if you will, and with Ryan Getzlaf towards the latter years of his career now, it would be nothing better than for a guy like Trevor ZEGRAS to really come into his own as the next face of the franchise, and all indication is showing just that. At number 3, we have another one of my favorite prospects on this entire list. If you guys have been following me, you absolutely know that, and that is Marco Rossi, who fell so far than really what he should have been because of his size being at 5'9". If he was even average height at say 6 foot to 6'2", he was easily a top 3 talent in my opinion. Already was a top 3 talent going into the draft class in my opinion. So to see him fall all the way to almost 10 to the Minnesota Wild, that was truly insane. And the Wild get themselves a stud in the first round in 2020 and Marco Rossi. At 5'9", 187 pounds, the 19-year-old Rossi was absolutely dominant in his final year of juniors, playing for the Ottawa 67s, putting up truly video game-like numbers. He had 120 points in just 56 games, including 39 goals and 81 assists. Like, are you kidding me? And the year prior had 65 points in 53 games played, including 29 goals and 36 assists. So to talk about development, he basically took a ×2 increase in his entire point production, and what a remarkable year it was for Marco Rossi. And he currently has 1 point in 1 game playing in Switzerland on loan, and is fully expected to make the jump to the NHL as soon as next season. I fully believe that Marco Rossi is capable of doing that. Even at the size of 5'9", he is going to continue to defy the odds like other players we have seen in smaller stature. Look at Cole Caulfield just a year ago and how tremendous he has been in his development still. Marco Rossi is a dominant, truly a dynamic forward that is so fantastic in that offensive zone. He slows down the game. He really looks like he's either 2 to 3 steps ahead every single time he enters the zone, both 5-on-5 and on special teams. He has some ridiculous playmaking and passing ability, and he has a wicked wrist shot that he can get off at any which way. Truly a dominant forward that is going to take advantage of every opportunity given to him, playing alongside another player that will be a good running for the Calder Trophy in Kirill Kaprizov, and another fantastic young forward in Kevin Fiala. If that does become a line, then watch out NHL, because Marco Rossi is definitely going to be one of the best players to come out of this entire 2020 draft class. At number 2, and really shouldn't be much of a surprise to anybody, there are good arguments to have him at 1, but I have Tim Stutzle. Tim Stutzle went to 3rd overall in the 2020 NHL draft to the Ottawa Senators and was announced by Alex Trebek. Rest in peace to Alex. That was such a crazy and amazing moment for the NHL and really hockey world community overall to have a guy like Alex Trebek of his stature, of course, from Ottawa, having him announce the pick for the Ottawa Senators. Truly tremendous. And again, best wishes to him and his family because of his passing, because it wasn't too long ago, just over these past couple of months. But seriously, Tim Stutzle, what a moment, what a memory to get him kickstarted into his NHL career. Stutzle skyrocketed through the draft board over this past year to get in the top 3 rankings, if not top 2 for a lot of people, and even some people believed him to be the best prospect coming out of the 2020 NHL draft class, in which he had 34 points in 41 games, including 7 goals and 27 assists, playing in Dell League, the German men's league, which is one of the better men's league in all of Europe when it comes to hockey, and truly dominated, and also set new record highs as an 18-year-old, having the most point per game in that league's history at 0.82%. Truly remarkable. And the year prior, playing in U20, he had 55 points in just 21 games, including 23 goals and 32 assists. And thus far in the U20 2020-2021 season, coming back from injury, he has 3 points in 3 games. So Tim Stutzle not skipping a beat whatsoever, and is fully expected to make a great impact into the NHL next season. Between his fantastic skating and acceleration ability, the ability to really be so deceptive in the offensive zone with ease, truly getting around defensemen like no other, and while he isn't big in stature, he is such a horse on the puck, so difficult to go up against one-on-one even with his size, and is fully expected to be the next face of the franchise for the Ottawa Senators as they continue this full rebuild with so much great young talent in that prospect pool already. Now you add Tim Stutzle in the mix to really help set the foundation, the core of what is expected for the Senators group going forward between their new uniforms, their new look, and their new face of the franchise in Tim Stutzle. He's going to do amazing things as a fantastic playmaker that can also shoot the puck when needed in that offensive zone and on the power play, and he is going to truly be a highlight reel for the Senators as they continue this rebuild. And at number 1, as a surprise to absolutely nobody, we have Quinton Byfield, the second overall pick in the 2020 NHL draft, and some debate was deserving him going first over Alexis Lafreniere. I know that is kind of a hot take, but a lot of people did believe that at times because Byfield is just that good, and he, like Tim Stutzle, is going to be the face of the franchise for his new team, and that is the LA Kings. The 6'4", 215-pound 18-year-old had a remarkable final year in juniors playing with the Sudbury Wolves, in which he had 82 points in 45 games, including 32 goals and 50 assists. And the year prior, he had 61 points in just 64 games, so not even point per game, including 29 goals and 32 assists. So another player with great progression and is going to have such an amazing impact and really compete with the other guys on this list, and Gabriel Vilardi and Alex Turcotte, to see how this roster is going to shape out as soon as the next season, because all three of these guys are fully capable of being in the NHL, being in the lineup, so it will not surprise me to see those three guys in the league next year, and they could all be competing for a chance to win the Calder. Is truly remarkable. But Byfield, what really separates him from the rest is a couple things. One is personality. He's such a charismatic young man as well. He looks like he is such a great poster boy for the LA Kings as they continue this retool/rebuild with a great prospect pool after some fantastic drafting and some luck in the draft lottery over these past couple years. And he is going to do amazing things as the future top line center for the LA Kings, no doubt in my mind. He is so amazing when it comes to his overall speed. At his size of 6'4", roughly 6'5", he is flying down the ice as if he was a foot smaller, which just shows you how great shape he's in, and he hasn't even fully gone into his body yet. Just imagine what he's going to do when he fully takes advantage of that size, because he is so difficult to get off the puck as it is. So see him mature in his prime. Sky truly looks like the limit as an amazing playmaker, some of the best hockey IQ out there out of all NHL prospects, and I fully expect him to not just have a good start to his NHL career, but to truly be dominant in every which way and make a fantastic running along with his teammates in Turcotte and Vilardi for the Calder, should they all be in the lab next season. But that's going to conclude this video. So as always, guys, make sure to check out my previous videos. If you haven't, I'll have them in the end screen in a second. I'll have my prospects playlist right down there if you want to check out all my other prospect rankings. If you want to check out my previous video, I'll have it right down here. Trust me, this is just beginning on the channel, guys. I hope you enjoy this kind of format. You can expect things like this to happen going forward, and I simply cannot wait for what the future has in store. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, if you agree or disagree on this video, please hit like and subscribe. As always, it means a ton. Let's get 3,000 subscribers and really get this thing rolling, guys. Trust me, it is just the beginning, and I can only imagine where we are going to be a year from now. So thank you all again, guys. It means an absolute ton. Comment down below, let me know all your thoughts, and I'll be back real soon.